couple things just as a reminder. Okay. Welcome to the graffiti jungle. Paulo Bilingue. Benvenuti nella jungle del graffiti. Questo è Impastore, Rockstar. It's a fake Rockstar chat show. Pensieri Tangentiali. Formerly known as Tangential Thought Chat Show. We got a podcast that we worked on the last Friday of the year, and it's now the last Tuesday of the year, and tomorrow's the last day of the year. Yeah. Sono to a couple of your song. She charged you to see Gus Napoleon. Alright. Cowboy bebop movie. I watched about an hour. Well, I had already watched like 20 or 30 minutes of it. So I watched another like 30 minutes or so around the hour mark. And I was just like, let me just keep track of some stuff. There was a couple of things I just kind of wanted to like mention. Because the first time I had stopped watching, well, when I stopped watching, the last session I watched was session 23. But that's when it was like, they're canceling Big Shot. They're canceling Big Shot. And I was like, that was my anime crush, Judy. I was like, no. I was like, this is not okay. And watching a movie, that's why I ended up on last time. Watching the movie, they're back, and it was like, we're gonna be on for 20 minutes. So, or like, they're just like, they're basically just saying they're gonna have a longer show than usual. Like, usually it's like, it's like really fast, and just isn't there. I just want to make sure I mention in this one a couple things. So there's more, I don't know, I guess recap and reaction. But music-wise, I was not liking the music selection. Usually, it was known for like the jazz, saxophones, harmonicas, like that type of genre. So in the beginning, it was having like this upbeat country music, and I was like, no. It didn't stick with that, but the next part was something else. I forget, but I haven't really been enjoying the music. But it was good to see my anime crush Judy on that joint. Judy was out there. She was like, I was about to make another video for her, but there was that. What else we got here? What did I write? Is that Marvel? I gotta try to read this joint. Look at my notes. Marvel. Something going to. Oh, Suspect. Marvel. I don't know what to say about the Marvels. I was supposed to see. This is what I was supposed to whatchamacallit. I was supposed to do it as after I watched it. 2 years. 2 years, and then next guy gets away. Shit. Oh fuck! I gotta try to remember this shit. Okay. Let me see. Guy gets away. I forget that word. I'm not sure what word. I wrote this shit so I can remember. Anyway, the suspect. So you watch Big Shot to say like, okay, how much is the bounty gonna be? How much the bounty gonna be? So the suspect is two guys. One's like I guess he's supposed to be like the hacker or whatever, and then the other guy is the one that his name is Vincent. Vincent something. They actually like looking for him. But apparently, the suspect that they're looking for, this is the guy that blew up the truck. The guy that blew up the truck. When they looked him up and they found him or whatever, he got some type of tattoo that they could identify. And when they looked him up, he's been gone for 2 years. Like, he's not supposed to be alive. So that was a weird jump, right? So Faye, let me see, guy gets away. Faye finds guy. Darn it, I wrote this down so I can remember. I'm trying to figure out somebody apprehended. Okay, well, like I said, there's two guys. The other guy, Faye went to like this little arcade thing, And so she finds him, but he like gets away. And once he gets away, uh, Edward Edward goes to find him. Edward and Ein, the dog. So the thing is, both of those two guys meet. So Vincent is like this tall uh, guy with dark hair. The other guy he's short and he has like a shortcut. The hacker guy, he also wears glasses, but he lost his hat. Anyway, Faye had took the hat. Ein and Edward, Ein is the dog. Ein and Edward go to look in the city looking for the guy, and Edward's like, Ein, you think you can get him? And then so eventually Edward finds the guy, and Faye walks into another. Oh, Edward finds the guy, and he sends Faye the location. Like, all right, Faye, I'm right here. And he's like, I'm right here. And so he sends the location, and Faye was like, all right, don't move, I'm coming. But by the time she get there, Edward, Edward is Edward. So Edward is gone by the time she gets there. So she was like, how am I supposed to find the guy? So I don't know the other guy's name, but Vincent is the tall one. Him and the other guy are in the room, and so he's telling him about this game called Solitaire. And he was like, yeah, when there's one left, and then that's how you win or whatever. And then he ends up like, whatever is this nanotechnology. So whatever's in these marbles, they don't like that's one of the things about this whole thing. They don't know what it is that's affecting everybody. It sounds like COVID. It's like it's in the air. They don't listen to third. And so, but it would take like, so when he crashed the truck, it took everybody out except for him. Then, so when he's in the room with the one guy, and it's just them two, he basically just like points the gun at the marble, and the guy's like, "Oh, not like that." So, but it just lets off whatever in the air, and so the short guy with the shortcut and wear glasses, that was the other suspect, the one that Faye had apprehended but left, and then Edward and Ein found. So Faye is out there. She's like, "Oh, how am I supposed to find the guy?" Because Edward's not there. But the guy ended up like, stuff gets all over in the room. He's like coughing, like he's like coughing or whatever. And then like he goes to the window and he breaks the window. So Faye was like, oh. So she goes into the building. Now when she walks into the building though, so the one guy, Vincent, is immune to it. Whatever this little nanotechnology that's inside the marbles, he's immune to it. And so from there, the other guy isn't though. So the other guy, he's like coughing on the ground, and he's just like he collapses. So Faye walks in on the room, but mind you, the stuff is still in the air. So Faye's just like, she starts stumbling. It's like, so she walks into the room, the guy hits the ground, and so mind you, the stuff is airborne. So she starts stumbling, and what the? And so, but when she does this, the other guy comes back in. Vincent comes back in, and she's like, oh, what the? And then, but Vincent, like, I don't know how to explain this. Not to say that he weird, but like he'll grab somebody by the neck and drag them. And I think that's what he low-key kind of did to her. Like he just grabbed her by the face or by her neck and dragged her. But then he like kisses her. And it was like, mind you, because Faye, when she first she turned around and she shot. And I think she shot at his hand or something. So his hand was bleeding. Well, I'm not sure if it's that because of that or because of the other guy, but his hand was already bleeding. But she was like, oh, what the? And then like, but she weak because of what stuff was in the air. He grabbed her by her neck, drag her over to the table, and he kissed her or whatever. That jump was crazy. So that's how I wrote that part there. So the next part is from there. They're on so the next part, the one guy, he's done, but they're still looking for Vincent. So Vincent. Oh, okay. There's another little part here. There's another little part. Spike is doing his own little research and he's in the city. He ends up taking like this little cleaning company truck. And so he gets inside the truck and he has a little disguise or whatever. It doesn't work that well. But he's inside the building and he's faking like he's working or something. But then the girl walked past him and then she points the gun to his head and she was like, drop it. And he was like, oh, all right. So they actually get into like a little skirmish. They get into like a little fight. Um, Spike and this girl. But he actually kind of like her a little bit. I don't know what it, like whatever it is about her. Like her coworkers also be asking her out on a date, because that also happened. So um, Spike was like, yeah, like after this we can go on a date or something. And so, but she's still trying to fight him or this and the third, but she's not gonna win. He gets away from her. Why am I mentioning her? I'm mentioning her. Well, wherever Vincent is a suspect. And she's like a cop or she's in the ISSP, like she's in the syndicate or something like that. And she's supposed to like be helping catch Vincent. And I'm not sure the whole thing with this, but she she doesn't get Spike. Spike gets away. Uh, but they're like when they're watching the show, they like well no. Spike also, I think when he was over there, he ended up taking like the gear or whatever. You know how people will be on like them shows, they be in their cop, they be in their car and they can like tune into the cop radio and they're like, oh, so they can hear the stuff. Like I don't know if you ever seen that on Incredibles, where they listen to the cop radio and that's where they figure out where stuff is at. Like Batman does the same thing type of thing. So that's basically what Spike is doing. He's like, oh well, I got the thing. He's like listening. And so basically they figure out where Vincent is. Vincent is like getting on this train. Spike goes, the cop girl, her name is Electra. The cop girl, she makes it to the train. Um, she gets on. Spike barely makes it. Like the train takes off. Spike has to hop on the train like while it's moving, and then he like has to shoot through the window and hop in. So Spike gets on the train, and so he walks down though, and then he confronts Vincent. And you know, Vincent always says like he don't say like one-liners, but he'll say something that's like just cryptic. Like he was like, "Do you know anything about purgatory? It's the place in between heaven and hell, and basically it's earth. Like we're in purgatory." And he was like, on Halloween. He's like, "Why do this on Halloween?" Well, Halloween is the one night, with the one day, where a soul that's stuck in purgatory, if they praise hard enough, they can just they can get released or whatever. So Vincent always says something like that. The only reason I'm saying that is because Vincent aims back at Spike. He aims back at Spike, but then when Electra is coming through, he turns it just a little bit. He shoots, but it's not at Spike. It goes at Electra. So then him and Spike get into a fight. Uh, Vincent, Spike get into a fight, but it seemed like kind of short or whatever. But then Vincent was laying there, and then so as Spike is about to, I don't know what Spike is about to do, but he walks over the body, and then Vincent like grabs him. He grabs him like in the middle of his body or whatever, and he does something. He's like, "Is that all you got?" And he throws him, and then he like grabs Spike. But this was he be grabbing people by their neck, bro, and just dragging them, bro. Like, um, so he got Spike hanging out the train, right? He got Spike hanging out the train, like the window, and he asked Spike, "What's your name?" He was like, "Spike Spiegel. Why do you care?" Like, and he's like, "Cause I'm gonna see you in another whatever." He's like, another dimension, another whatever. He's like, "I'm gonna see you in another I don't know how to explain that. I forget what he actually said. Like another dimension, another after, whatever. He's like, "I'm gonna see you in the next phase of life or whatever, like after this." And he's like, he's like, "I want to know your name." He's like, "Spike Spiegel," and he says that. And then he shoots Spike, lets Spike go. Spike, so it's like, dang, bro. Spike, of course, survives. And he's like floating in the river, I guess, or something like that. So some people got him. That's where I'm kind of sort of at right now. The train. Oh, but then he blows up the train. Vincent blows up the train, but he vanishes. But they're like, there's still much more of the movie to go. He's still alive. So it's like, I don't know what's up with Vincent, bro. I don't know whatever. Um, I'm trying to figure out what the heck, because Faye had kind of woke up and she's like, "What did you do to me?" He was like, he has the antidote. Whatever this nanotechnology is, or what is in the third, he has the antidote. So he was like, I gave you, da da da. That's why he kissed her, so that she would be okay. Um, so don't know where Vincent is right now, but he he's with Faye. Actually, he's with Faye. He's still alive. The train blew up. He's with Faye. I don't know what happened to Electric Girl yet. We'll see what happened with her. Spike, his body was just floating through the river, I guess, or whatever. And so he wakes up next to the fire with like this Indian guy and his dog or whatever. So they're talking. And so basically, Spike's still alive, but he's just injured. And uh, that's that. Faye wakes up. Faye is like basically kind of sort of, I guess, like, she's not kidnapped, but she's like, what did you do? And he's like, yeah, you got the antidote from me or whatever. So Vincent's still alive. And then, was there anything else I wanted to say? Oh, blows up the train. And then the nanotech. So basically, they started studying. Edward is studying the little marbles or whatever. And he was like, this is a, I don't know, it's not with an L. I'm going to just say, not a lymph node, but whatever. It's like, this is an L. Whatever this L word is. I forget. It's not a hard word to say, but I just forget exactly what it is. So he's like, yeah, this is this. But inside this marble is a different one. And so it was like, they studying it, and it was basically like, there's nanotechnology in it. And so whatever it is, though, that was one of the whatchamacallit. So it's some type of nanotechnology that's inside the marbles. And so once it's airborne and inside the body, there's a whole nother thing. I think those are the main things I wanted to kind of sort of mention. So far, I have not liked the music choice. And I was like, that was kind of like throwing it off a little bit. I did take a couple little pictures here to show that I thought was like interesting. Like here, Edward is going down into the whatchamacallit. I gotta move this all the way out the way. But it's actually, you see, of course, what's recognizable? McDonald's, but it's not McDonald's. It has a W, so it flipped that up. Edward was going around knocking on doors, and so I thought this was funny. Well, not funny. I didn't think this was funny. I just liked the fact that his robe had that Japanese symbol on it. His robe had that Japanese symbol on it. That's what I thought was cool. So, only other little remarks that I kind of want to say is that this is a Cowboy Bebop movie, but it just feels like a long episode. It just feels like a long episode. So there's, and I mentioned this and I said this. So it was one thing where it was like, bro, that they used to just feel like it was like rushing through. And now it just feels like they actually have the time to, you know, flesh out their ideas. It's not rushed. So this is why I say, like, conceptually, I think, of being in a time slot and having like 20 to 24 minutes that you can, whatchamacallit, it felt rushed. The sessions felt rushed, right? So now they don't have to rush it. They don't have to rush through their plot. They don't have to rush through anything. So that was one thing. It's given that time. So my thing is that I'm trying to, like, I'm not sure how to really convey or articulate is the fact that as I'm watching the movie, it like I'm looking at it, I'm like, it just feels like the show, right? It just feels like the show. And so but it's a movie, so I kind of I wanted them to do something a little bit more different or I'm not sure how to explain it. Like what else I could have, like it just like the show is always one thing, and so like remember in the whatchamacallit, I always felt like okay, it wasn't until like what session 13, 14. One of the sessions is like a one part, two part, and like they're connected. And I was like, bro, this is how you gotta be. Like you gotta have this jump connected. So it's like a story, and it's just in the third. But there's sessions for like standalones. So this feels like it felt just like that. It feels like it's a so if their if their sessions had been an hour long and this and the third, I feel like they needed this much time to really show or do whatever they wanted to do anyway. The sessions felt rushed, so this doesn't feel rushed. However, I'm saying like I'm not sure if I would have. I don't know. Like I'm sitting here watching stuff 10 minutes at a time or this and the third. Uh, like dang, it's some whole movie. I gotta, sometimes you sit there and watch something like, dang, I gotta sit down and watch this for like 2 hours, 3 hours, like it'd be that long or something like that. So, if the sessions, were 45 to an hour, like, how would that have felt, or what would have been done, or like, what I'm saying, getting through it like that. I'm not sure. I just don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Um, but it doesn't feel rushed, which is what I'm glad about. And of course, it does. Mind you, I think the first sessions are in 1998 and 1999. This one is in 2001. It does look a lot better, but it wasn't to say that it looked bad. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't to say that it ever looked bad, but it is looking, it's looking really well. It's looking really well. So, I'm enjoying it in that sense. I'm enjoying it in that sense. Uh, it's slower. So I still got like I don't know. It still got a decent amount of time left. I still got a decent amount of time left on it. So we had to wrap up to see like okay, what is Vincent's story? He's still like there's still mystery surrounded around him and Electra. Like where do they actually come from? Him and Electra both have a similar tattoo. Him and Electra both have a similar tattoo, so that's the thing. What it is about them, like what's their story? How do they get connected to this Marvel thing and whatever? We still don't know where the Marvel comes from, who's producing it. Well, we actually do know who's producing it. I think it's the company or whatever. But how does this with Vincent and Electra? What is going on? With Vincent and Electra, what's going on? So, um, it's cool. It's the vibe. It's the Cowboy Bebop vibe. Like, but I think that's the last thing I was trying to figure out. I was trying to figure out what could be. It feels like the whatchamacallit should have just been, you know, like when it had session 13, 14. That's what I think. I think it was session 13, 14, or it's 12, 13. One of the two. When it had the one part, two part. If that's what it felt like they needed, like just to be able to really flush out all of their sessions, like in complete, in its entirety. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Um, but I'm trying to figure out what could have been different, because that's my only other thing I'm saying. Like, it's a movie, but it just feels like a long episode, a long session. So what could have been done differently so far to, make it feel like, oh, nah, this the movie, and like this what happens in the movie or something, you know? I guess it hasn't gotten there yet, it hasn't finished. But I guess it's also kind of noteworthy to go back and see about those other 3 sessions. I got session 24, 25, and 26. 24, 25, 26. I gotta watch those other sessions, see what's going on with those. Cause the Big Shot show comes back. The Big Shot show came back. So, I'm not sure what happened in those last 3 sessions, but it was always, you never really got to, they had a backdrop show for Jet, and they had a backdrop show for Faye. We know where Spike, no, we know where Ein and Edward came from, like in a sense, but they never. I don't know. This is why I gotta sit there and potentially have to watch session 24, 25, and 26 to say, all right, did they give Spike a backdrop show type of thing? So, I'm kind of sort of trying to think like, could they have done something different? What could have been another storyline or plot for this? So, let's see, another storyline or plot, or just it's doing what I expected. Like, what did you like? Because that's the other part. Like, what did you expect? Like, if this is what the episodes are like. I'm trying to think about Pokemon. You see, like, but Pokemon first movie is like with Mewtwo, but you see how I get more backdrop. So, that's the whole thing. Like, with the movie, it can give backdrop. Either to Spike, it could be like, oh well, here's a whatchamacallit, like with Spike or whatever. It could have been that, cause there was that one guy. Oh, I forget his name. There was one guy. There was one guy, and he makes Spike angry. There's this one guy that makes Spike angry. Spike does not get angry, but if you compare him to that guy, then Spike gets angry. So, I'm not sure. I forget that guy's name. It's like, his name is like Vulture or Raven or something. He has some type of name. But if you compare Spike to him, then Spike will get mad. Like, I never knew what was the whole thing with that guy. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they could have delved more into a subplot of the universe, of the Cowboy Bebop universe. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what I'm saying. They could have delved into another subplot of the Cowboy universe. And you can even go backwards in it. And like their thing is futuristic. So it could have been like an origin story for Spike or something. Then that's simple. That's simple. Like, it could have been like an origin story for Spike, or whatever happened with the whole, like, they allude to certain things happening. Like, they could actually like show those things happening. Like, whatever it was to get to this dystopian future, they could like show some of those type of things happening. It's like, so it's an event. Like, the movie could have been an event. The movie can have been an event. So like, oh man, this is how things kind of sort of went and kind of sort of go, and like why they're this way or that way. There's a lot of different like spins, because you never really, you're just thrown into the Cowboy Bebop universe, into the year 27, whatever. But like, it could have been like something to like, oh, this happens in this year or this time, any like those type of things. It could have been like those things that could be touched upon. So I think I gotta go back and I gotta watch session. I gotta go back and I gotta watch session 24, 25, 26. I gotta watch those last 3 sessions and see what like really happened, so I can really fill this part in. But not to say that the movie's bad or anything, but it just feels like a long session, and it feels like what the session should have felt like or what this session has kind of sort of been like. I mean, minus the other little, just the little stuff that happens on the in between of just like not time wasting, but like there's the little filler scenes and stuff. Outside of that, because there was also like I don't know if it was foreshadowing with that. They had this one girl pop up in the thing and she like when Spike first got that vase, there was that. So that's where it's at right now. After like an hour or so, Spike is waking up. He gets injured. Well, Vincent has Faye and Jet and all them are on the whatchamacallit, or on bebop. So, I think I gotta finish it. I don't know how much more is left. I gotta finish it, and then that'll be I'll be able to give more of an accurate